Hello guys, welcome to Thermomixing Adventures. Lisa here. Hey look, today I'm finishing off hubby's birthday cake. It's his birthday tomorrow and I thought I'd come with you and show you this. But I also thought I'd talk a bit about blades today and how easy it is to look after our Thermomix and give it longevity. So come with me today. Let me talk to you about this cake and then I'm going to talk to you about blades. So he has asked for the triple choc layer cake. And it's not as scary as it seems when you've got a Thermomix and guided recipes. If you don't have Cookidoo, it's well worth signing up to it. When you got your TM6 for the first time, or those of you with the TM5, you would have got it with your Cook Key, which is the big dongle on the side. Currently a host reward, okay? So if you are watching this now, it is the first week of June 24. You can actually get one of those discounted as hosting a demo online with 2 friends. So, but you get 6 months free to have a play, and after that it's $69 a year to continue the subscription, and it just makes it so simple. There is no way without a Thermomix I would have even dreamed of trying to make this cake. Like, so far it has had a beautiful layer in the bottom that was cocoa based, then it had a milk chocolate layer, then it had a dark chocolate layer, and today I'm going to show you the milk chocolate, the white chocolate layer on top, which pretty much finishes it. So I do have what I've done thus far. You won't get to see the insides because I think if I take the tin off it may have disastrous effects on the top, but it's certainly something that is achievable when you've got a Thermomix, right? Like, the Thermomix makes your everyday easy, but then when you need to do something a little special, it takes that and makes it easy too, which is super cool. So I'm just going to look at where I'm up to in this recipe. For those of you who don't know, when you don't finish a recipe, you can actually go into your recently cooked list. So if I go back to home here and I grab my 3 menu little buttons up this top right hand corner and I go down to recently cooked, it'll actually tell me if I've not completed a recipe and gives me the chance to kick off where I left off. By the way, if you're watching on Say Hi, okay, it means that you'll see these videos in your newsfeed, which means you'll get to learn more about your Thermomix. You can see it's got a little pause button. Pause button means I never finished. Sometimes pause means you just didn't tap through to the very end as well, but often it can mean, hey, you're halfway through. So today I'm going to turn the machine on, picking this recipe up from yesterday. I just went to recently cooked and I clicked it and it said, do you want to resume, restart, or cancel? So I want to resume it. So you can see here it's up to the step with the pouring cream. So for this white chocolate layer, it has so far asked me to put 3 tablespoons of water and 1.5 teaspoons of gelatine and let that combine over here. There was a term for it, can't remember what it was, and it wasn't dissolve, bloom. That was what it was, to bloom. Okay, so this is what's happening here. It then asked for 150 grams of milk chocolate. We don't normally have milk chocolate in the house, had to go specially buy it, but I got a good score. I got $1.50 camembert wheels when I went and got the white chocolate. I'm like, that is winning. They're going in the freezer. Watch this space, I'm going to use them. So anyway, it asked for the 150 grams of white chocolate, and you can see the residue of that in the bowl, and it blitzed that down, gave me the instructions on how to do so, put it aside, and now we're up to pouring cream. Now, what they didn't have at the shops when I shopped yesterday morning for this recipe was actually cream. They had thickened cream, but they didn't have pure cream like we like to use. So we had a little bit left in the fridge. We had about 400 mils of a 600 ml carton, and I used that yesterday, but I supplemented. Now, I was tempted to go to coconut milk, coconut cream, which we use often as a dairy-free alternative. However, I thought, you know what, I'm going to step this up a little more and I'm going to turn this into kind of a cheesecake kind of thing. So today, instead of putting in pouring cream, because I simply don't have any, I'm simply going to use cream cheese. Okay, saving myself a trip to the shops, saving myself fuel, and saving myself, let's be real, when we go to the shops, do we just buy that one thing on our list, or do we end up buying the $1.50 wheels of camembert that are on sale? So 100 grams here of, and this is, as I said, cream cheese, in it goes. I'm just going to put a little bit more in, so it's going to be a little bit more cheesecakey than it might have been, but doesn't sound bad, does it? A little more. Now, it did say in the step prior, I'll just jump back one because I actually think I need to show you. It told me to put the butterfly whisk in. Now, cream cheese, by the time you're adding a butterfly whisk, your contents need to be smooth. Otherwise, the butterfly will probably bounce off, which you don't want. So I didn't bother with adding my butterfly whisk yet. I want to smooth it first. So in with my pouring cream today, in with the lid, and it says turn speed selected speed 3.5. You might notice it doesn't actually have a speed here, because if you've got pure cream in there or even thickened cream and you're trying to whip it up, they're going to tell you to keep an eye on it so that it doesn't over whip. Okay, they're putting the responsibility on you. So it says whipping until lightly whipped. Watch carefully not to over whip. Okay, so I'm just trying to get rid of chunks. I'm trying to smooth it out right now. This is all I'm trying to do, is actually smooth it, because cream cheese is relatively thick anyway, yeah, which is kind of cool to work with. Look at that, yum. And that was straight out of the fridge. I love that with a Thermomix you don't have to put it out to defrost to use it. Defrost is the wrong word. Soften to use it. You can just use it straight up. Now, I'm not even going to bother with the butterfly at this point in time, I don't think. Let's see what the next step says. Remove the butterfly whisk. It's smooth. I'm happy with that. Transfer into a bowl and set aside. Well, that's a pain. I didn't bring another bowl with me. What have I got that I can use? How much is there? Not much at all. Let's just put it on the spatula. Should have read the instructions ahead. All right, the next step is going to ask for some more cream cheese. So I'm actually not too fussed. Yeah, that'll fit on the spatula. I'm not too fussed if I leave some more in there, because you watch, next step, I'm fairly certain, yeah, if it's anything like the other steps, it's 50 grams of cream and it's going to melt it. So I'll just grab my knife. I'm just guessing about 50 grams. And we're going to talk about blades in a second, so hang tight. Just get this on. Yeah, and I've got some blades to show you. That's close enough. Next, insert the measuring cup then, and now it's got to melt. It's actually going to melt this down. Now before we do, because I do have something that's slightly thicker, it's really wise to give it a bit of a blitz so that it can melt down. So speed 2 is not going to be enough to actually break the chunks down. So let's go up to, there we go. And now I'll just put it back on speed 2 and that will melt. Otherwise I would have found after the 2 minutes, I would have had chunks still. And the other previous steps, I experienced this. It's even got butter in those previous steps. It's butter and cream. And I found that if I didn't blitz the butter, because I got them too big, it just didn't, I had to go back and repeat the steps. So a little tip. Now we've got a minute and a half. Let's talk blades. I've got 2 sets of blades here. Okay, now this is, I had a beautiful customer reach out over the end of the weekend, I think it was, it's about blades. And it's a common question I get, and so I'd like to just bring it up and talk about blades, why they're important and how we can protect them for longevity. Okay, they are the moving part. They are the part that's designed to wear. Your machine will not burn out, okay? It's not like an old school blender that if it free spins, you've got about 5 seconds before it starts smelling like burnt plastic and goes and sizzles and pops, okay? Your Thermomix won't do that because it's driven by magnets. And those magnets repel each other. There's no gears and bearings in there to wear, okay? Those magnets, they don't wear. What wears are blades, and they're designed that way, okay? So don't stress about the fact that, oh my gosh, my blades are broken. They're supposed to. It's like tires on your car. No one drives the same set of tires for 20 years, or 5 years for that matter. Let's be real. There's so many roundabouts that we all wear our tires, and same with the blades. But there's things we can do to protect them. There's also things we can do to know that we're needing to jump ahead of the bandwagon and get a spare set ready for when they do go, and specifically when there's sales on, or when you're getting your 20% delivery celebration demo code that you can use in the mix shop. Like, it's a great reason to buy a set, put it in the cupboard for in case you need them. Okay, so I do have 2 here. One is about to go. I'm going to show you why in a second, but let's get this happening again. Add the reserved chocolate. You'll see some of it's melted. It actually hasn't all. I just want to check that hunk there. Yeah, it's not solid. That's okay. Add reserved white chocolate. Yum. Okay, on with the lid. It's got 30 seconds speed 2, and it's again on 60 degrees. It's keeping it warm enough to somewhat melt it. Can't really temper it, but it's not proper tempering. Can you guys see in the lid? Yum. Now I reckon it's going to ask next for our 100 grams of whipped cream. Now, you do not want to whip your cream to this extent. If you whip it to this extent, you've gone a little too far, okay? It should be soft peaks, hard peaks, you're getting a little too far whipped, okay? This is obviously cream cheese. Here we go. Next, but it goes to show that you don't have to just make it exactly as per recipe. Like, I don't want to go to shops and do exactly what it says. Add the reserved gelatine. Oh, I got the wrong thing in the hand, but I do want to scrape that down. Can you see how it's not well combined? So I want to grab my spatula and get that all combined together. I think I need to put a couple of bowls around here so that when recipes do call for bowls, I don't have to put it on the spatula. All right, see how that's kind of coming together? Nothing's going to waste. It's somewhat melting that chocolate. It's 60 degrees. That's what we wanted. Yum. Okay, gelatine. Now I do have one lump of gelatine in there, and I'm not going to put that in my food. Okay, if you find yourself with a lump, you could have early enough pushed it to the side and kind of squished it. Mine doesn't want to, but mine is also very old gelatine. I don't know how old it is. I'm not sure they still sell the brand again. That's how old. So I'm quite happy with that. Add the reserved gelatine. Next, insert the measuring cup. 40 seconds, speed 2. All right, nearly done. You guys can have a little squeeze. It's just stirring through nicely, and then I presume we're going to add this cream. So one of these blades is ready to go. Excuse me, I ate some chocolate before. Shouldn't have done that. This one here is actually a blade that is just about to go. The couple of things I can tell about this blade, first one that's screaming out loud and clear, is see this green bit, how it's got wear marks? I'm just going to compare it to this one. See how this one has no wear marks there? So where I'm looking at, just grab a spoon. See, hang on, gotta learn to drive this thing. That way. Go see there? See where it's got that bent up bits of plastic? Plastic's the wrong word, it's not plastic. But that is from this section, the mid hub, this bit, the middle hub, dropping down and sitting on top of the base bit. So our blades are made up of 3 parts. They're made up of, I'll just put it back to normal positioning where it should be. They're made up with the top bits. Man, there we go. I promise you I will get better driving. The top bit here, okay, and this is the bit that should turn simultaneously to this bottom segment that is made up of, potentially if you've got an old model machine, it could be black and black. It could be on a TM5 grey and black, but on a TM6 it's green and black. So that's your bottom segment. So you've got one segment, a base. You've got a center segment made up of both the stainless, a seal, and that lock-in mechanism. And then you've got the top, which is the blades, okay? So the bottom bit and the top bit stay together, okay? They stay together, and the middle bit is the bit that turns independently. So if I hold the middle bit and I turn the blades, can you see the base moving at the same time? Yeah? So this bit is held in independent. Let's just continue on with this so my gelatine doesn't stick, and I'll finish that up in a second. Set aside to cool. Oh, that works. We can keep talking for a second, for 5 minutes. I'm just going to get that chocolate mix into it though. Again, I don't want to lose it up the side. We're going to last of all add the cream in, which is cream cheese. Get that in. There we go. All right. Anyone made this cake, by the way? Comment if you have. All right. So 2 blades. So first of all, I can see the green has bent component there. It's been wearing, it has been pressing against the bottom when it's been spinning, and that causes pressure, okay, and that is making that. Now if it's gone further, some of you may see specks of green or grey if you've got the TM5, or black in the base of your machine, little specks, or even liquid, grey liquid. Yeah, sign number 2 is something in the base of the machine that wasn't there before. And the grey liquid is food grade oil from the bearings inside there, okay, going straight down through there. Not going to damage your Thermomix because it's sitting in that base unit. You know, you have to get a significant amount of liquid to rise up and fall through the pinholes. So it's not a damaging issue, but it's a my blades are wearing issue, okay? And the other thing that sometimes happens, well actually the third thing you can look for is that mine's really nearly going, right? I can move this segment up and down, so I can make this space here disappear, and I have no ability to clean under the blades, or I can make it bigger. And now I've got a big ability to clean under the blades. Now on a healthy set of blades, There's no movement. You cannot move that with your hand, with your bare strength. It does not go either way. Cannot. All right, so that's the third thing. If your blades have uneven size gap, and when I say uneven, don't get a ruler, just look at it. If you look at it and you can see one gap is bigger than the other significantly, and you can see signs of wearing on that bit down the bottom there, this bit, the low bit here, it's going. Now, if the next step from that is if you can move the top and bottom components separately. Now I can't yet, but if you can, that's like alarm bells. Okay, so there's other ones are like warning signs. This one's like, oh my goodness, I'm about to die. Okay, so right at the very end before it goes, you'll actually notice at the bottom and the top, there's a movement between them. And then the last thing that happens typically is this base bit snaps off. And you end up with that sitting in your machine. And I get the phone call that says, Lisa, my machine's broken. I can hear it going, but it's not moving. What's happening? And you've got your blades out, you've got your bowl out, we're problem solving. And I'm like, hang on, is there a bit stuck in your base? And this little bit stuck in your base, and you have to tip your machine up and it comes out and it's fine and you just get new blades. That's the final, right? You cannot repair blades, just putting that clause out there now. You cannot do that, okay? But you can do things to protect them. All right, and that's what I want to touch on today. So you know the warning signs that your blades are looking to go. All right, so you're looking for a big gap and a little gap. Okay, it could go either way. You're looking for damage to this segment here, the top part of the bottom, that bit there. And you're looking for liquid or what looks like confetti in the bottom of your base in your machine. And lastly, you're looking for a bit of movement between that first segment and that third segment. Okay, but that's like, it's going. Get your spare blades, yeah? Okay, so that's what you're looking for when it comes to blades. How to protect your blades. Okay, it's actually not too hard. They are going to eventually wear like your tires, okay? You cannot avoid that unless you don't use your Thermomix, which don't do that, you'll break my heart. Use your Thermomix. But it's like leaving your car in the garage so you don't wear your tires out, right? Like you just can't do that. But to protect them, what do? First of all, when you're making smoothies, if you have a TM6, use your blend mode. Blend mode lives over here, and it is, depending on your layout on your screen, looking for mine, there it is, mine's at the bottom today. It's not always there, you can rearrange that screen, okay? It might be somewhere else on yours. What that does is it increases the speed, but it doesn't put the pressure behind it. So what's happening and what wears your blades most fastest is actually jumping and jarring by the food inside. Now it's okay if the food's all the same. So if it's water with ice or cordial with ice or liquid with ice, like a runny liquid, milk and ice, there's only two textures. And when it hits the ice, that's okay. It's hitting exactly the same thing each time. And it's fine, it can do that. But if I then have liquid and then I put frozen bananas and then I put frozen berries, which are like little marbles, if you've ever blitzed them up, and then I put a handful of nuts and then I put a handful of fresh orange in there, all of a sudden I've got 5 or 6 textures. And it's just like me taking off at the traffic lights and I put my foot to the floor and I hit a pothole, I hit the gutter, I hit another pothole, I go over a speed bump, and my car is just getting hammered, yeah? And these little blades, which do all the work, are starting to jar, and the part that's jarring is this bit between the bottom and the top. Yeah? Now we can't physically move that with our hands. If you can physically move that top and bottom with your hands, as I said, yeah, warning signs. But we can't. So if you are on a TM31 or a TM5, you want to go up to speed gradually. Go to 5 and then increase gradually to speed 9 or 10 for making your smoothies. Okay? When you've got multi-textures. If you're on a TM6, we use our blend mode. Okay? And that just takes that pressure off behind the speed. So, because you know when your Thermomix goes up to speed, the beauty of electromagnetic is it literally goes straight to speed. It doesn't go up gradually like I'm changing gears on a car. It's literally like straight to speed. And that's what it's designed to be. That's the magic of a Thermomix. That's why it does so many amazing things it does. Except, albeit when it's hot, and it's a safety mechanism that it goes up slower. But that's how you protect your blades. Okay? Now there is, as I said, no way to repair them. They are available in the mix shop as replacements. Okay, so it's no big deal. It ultimately protects your machine. Okay, these blades are designed to go so your machine doesn't go. How cool is that? Your machine keeps on going regardless. And even if you get your base stuck in the little bottom and it's snapped off and you guys ring me, which has happened plenty of times in the last 10 and a bit years, the machine still works. Like there's nothing actually wrong with your machine. It's purely you just need a new set of blades. Okay. Now I have spare set of blades. You've seen that I've got a couple here, so I'm not too worried. However, I am nursing these ones. There are two things you can do when your blades are going. You can, number one, order another pair. But number two, then what do? Do you keep going with your broken pair until they completely broke? Or do you put the new pair in, which by the way, super sharp. Please be careful first 2 months using your new blades, because you're used to really safe, not very sharp blades, and your new ones come super razor sharp. Okay, so safety announcement. But what do? My suggestion is you swap in the good blades and you put these in the cupboard as a backup. Okay, because you never know when they might go. All right, or you might terribly wrap a teaspoon around your blades one day. I've done it, I can speak from experience. And then you don't have hubby there with the pliers to undo it. Okay, so you can just pop it out and put another one in, even if it's the one that's just about gone. Okay, so I use these then as the backup, the broken ones as the backup, and then just have the other ones as your everyday ones. That would be what I would do. In the meantime, I mean, I've got spares. Mine's still in rotation, but I'm certainly, the kids know, don't use this one on doughs. Okay, you're going to break it quicker. Don't use this one on smoothies. It'll just snap quicker. Let's see if we can extend its life. I don't need it as a backup because I have multiple bowls and blades. So it's not actually something I actually need. That's the benefit of being a consultant. If you want to be a consultant and join me and do what I do demos, show people Thermomix, reach out. I'd love to give you information on that. But yeah, mine will just keep going until it no longer goes. And yeah, I don't know, plenty over the years, over the last 10 years, I've probably gone through 4 or 5 blades. Like they're not something you go through every 6 months. Like it takes a while. Like you're looking at a couple of years, generally speaking. I mean, I have a customer many years ago who, Tony with her, she went through blades a lot faster. You know, like that's putting a lot of oomph into your machine all the time. But that's the exception, right? So it's not something you're going to have to do all the time. But check your blades, okay? Take the time, get them out of the dishwasher, get them out of the sink. By the way, soaking them is not a great idea, okay? I had a friend of mine who worked in service for a while and he said, don't soak your blades, okay? It will wear them faster. So there you go, don't soak your blades. But, you know, have a look, have a cast dry over them. Have a look. Do you have any wear on there? Is there that different distance? Also, just with your little seal here, peel it back to clean under it when you'd like, but don't take it off over the little noggins. Okay, it'll eventually stretch and then you'll have liquid going in your machine and you don't want that. So I don't think I've ever taken mine off and I don't plan on it. All right, but there you go. Some blade 101 today, so that hopefully you can get the most out of your blades. Okay, let's finish this up. I reckon it's been 5 minutes. Set aside to cool, done that. Transfer cool mixture to a bowl with the reserved whipped cream and stir gently until just combined. I'm not stirring it in a bowl, I have a Thermomix. What about you? So let's put this in here and I might get the Thermomix to start for me. Just get that off the spatulas. These are the Tivoli spatulas from the mix shop. I quite like them. My Tivoli collection has expanded a little bit recently. Okay, so I need a driving screen. I could push the house key and the house key will let me come to a driving screen to manually do stuff. So I'll just go on say speed 4. What they're worried about here is if you're using whipped cream that you're actually going to take the air out of the whipped cream. If we go back to the original like milk chocolate, dark chocolate, it actually had egg whites in it, I think. One of the steps had egg whites and it's, again, they wanted you to fold it carefully. So that's what that's about. But being cream cheese, it's a bit more stable. Well, it's significantly more stable. All right, where was I up to before I hit the back arrow? Now it just says pour over the set dark chocolate layer on the cake. So I'm just going to make sure that is all combined. Probably if I hand mixed it, maybe it wouldn't be quite so runny. But in this case, because it's a set layer, it doesn't really matter. So just going to put that there so you guys can see. There you go, look at that. All right. It looks delicious. Yum. Perfect. All right. And then I believe it's going to go in the fridge for a couple of hours. And then the only thing left to do is I think they dust it with cocoa powder at the end. So let me have a look at the last few steps. To be honest, I didn't get too far ahead in this recipe. It scared me a little bit. I am not the fiddly cook in this house. My husband is a fiddly cook. If there is croissants to be made, like for his birthday tomorrow, he's asked for croissants. I have put that job onto the children because I can't think of anything worse than fiddly cooking. The cake, I had to psych myself up and just do it over a couple of days. Again, I'm just like, let's just make a slab of cake. So yeah, but I'm sure it's going to taste amazing, and it's certainly going to look very impressive when I open it. Place back into the refrigerator for a minimum of 2 hours, or preferably till overnight set. Run a sharp knife around the edge to release it and carefully transfer onto a serving plate. Dust with cocoa powder just before slicing and serving. So that's it. So I guess you'll have to wait for tomorrow to see the final outcome of this. Each component I have tasted tastes pretty amazing. It actually doesn't have much added sugar to it, so I do quite like that. The first layer had 60 grams whipped into the egg whites with the cocoa powder, so it had a little bit in that first cake style base layer. The rest has just been cream and chocolate. I think in all of them egg. Can't remember if the eggs were in there or not. That might have been the base layer. So it's actually been quite a light on cake, as much as I do know, I'm very aware there's plenty of sugar in white chocolate and milk chocolate. The dark chocolate, not so much. So, but yeah, I will take photos tomorrow. I hope you found this useful on knowing how to see how your blades are going, and then, you know, knowing what to do to prevent or slow that process down of wear, okay? You can't completely eliminate it. It is just part of, everything in life wears. Nothing does not wear, okay? But the beauty of it is with the Thermomix that it's not your machine. Yeah, it's actually a part that's fully replaceable in the mix shop. Remember, if you are going shopping as well in the mix shop, I should have said this earlier, please remember to make sure your consultant name, or mine, if you have no consultant looking after you, is actually there displayed before hitting checkout, okay? So that you don't miss the middleman in our Thermomix world, okay? Consultants only exist because you guys support us. So please, that goes for buying Thermomixes, vacuum cleaners, blades, whatever the case might be. Please, if you don't have a consultant, Lisa Keegan, I'm there, okay? But if you've got someone who's, supporting you on the call to you, or you on the call to them when you need help with your Thermomix, then put their name in the checkout, okay? Please honor them in that process. We are very grateful for your support in that. But otherwise, have a great weekend. It's so lovely to be back and cooking with you. I hope you find value in this, and it gives you confidence to give something a go that you wouldn't have otherwise given a go to. But I'll be back for some more cooking either over the weekend or next week. And of course, reach out if you need help with anything, you got a question, you're not sure what something means in a recipe, don't be a stranger. I love to hear from you. Send me a DM, PM. Some of you have my mobile number. That's fine too, but take care and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.